Hey friends, welcome back to Civil Engineering Master. In this video, let's discuss about Eurocode 2, which stands for Design of Concrete Structure. In that, part 1 is specifically for general rules and rules for building. In Eurocode 2, we have 3 parts. I'll explain you what are all that parts and what are all the other Eurocodes which is related to Eurocode 2. So let's discuss one by one. First, let's start with what are all the Eurocodes we have for designing the structure. Structural Eurocode program comprises the following standard, generally consisting of number of parts. So we have these many codes starting from 0 to 9. EN 1990, that is Eurocode 0, that is for basis of structural design. Next one is Eurocode 1, which is in the version EN 1991, actions on structures. Next Eurocode 2, that is for design of concrete structure. Eurocode 3 is for design of steel structure. Eurocode 4 is for design of composite steel and concrete structures. Eurocode 5 is for timber structures. Eurocode 6 is for masonry structures. Eurocode 7 is for geotechnical design. Eurocode 8 is for design of structures for earthquake resistance. Eurocode 9 is for design of aluminium structures. So in this we are going to discuss about Eurocode 2, design of concrete structure. In Eurocode 2 we have 3 parts, and as we have IS 1893-2016 for earthquake resistant structure as per Indian Standard Code. Similarly, we have Eurocode 8, that is for design of structures for earthquake resistance. Now let's look into the relationship between Eurocode 2 and other European standards. So here BSEN 1992 is the Eurocode 2, design of concrete structure. In that we have 2 parts. One is general rules for structures. Next one is structural fire design. Part 1.1 is for general rules for structures. Part 1.2 is for structural fire design. As I have told you before, in Eurocode 2 we have 3 parts. Part 1 is for this one, general rules for structure, design of concrete structure. Part 2 is for bridges, and part 3 is for liquid retaining structures. Many people get confused in this one. So Eurocode 2 has 3 parts. Part 1 is for design of concrete structure. In that we have 2 classifications, and part 2 is for bridges, part 3 is for liquid retaining structures. Next, let's look into other Eurocodes which are related to Eurocode 2. BSEN 13670, that is execution of structures, that is also related to Eurocode 2, and BSEN 13369, that is for precast concrete, that has the subdivision of precast concrete product standards, and BS 8500 specifying concrete, BS 4449, that is reinforcing steels, BSEN 206 specifying concrete, that is also relation with BS 8500, and Eurocode 1, BSEN 1991 Eurocode 1, that is actions on structures, BSEN 10080, that is also for reinforcing steel, that is relation with BS 4449, BSEN 1990 Eurocode, that is basis of structural design, BSEN 1998, that is Eurocode 8 seismic design, Eurocode 7 BSEN 1997, that is geotechnical design. So this is how Eurocode 2 is related with other European standard codes. Now let's look into the content of Eurocode 2 part 1. We have the content list here. It is starting from 1, and we have 12 chapters. So we have 12 chapters. 12th one is plain and lightly reinforced concrete structures. In that we have some other sections, and we have annexures A to J. So in this video let's discuss the chapter 1. Chapter 1 is general. We have scope of Eurocode 2, scope of part 1 of Eurocode 2, normative references. Under that we have general reference standards, other reference standard, and 1.3 is assumptions. Next one is distinction between principles and application rules, and definitions we have. In that general and additional terms and definitions used in the standard, precast structure, plain or lightly reinforced concrete members, unbonded and external tendons, pre-stress, and last one is symbols. So these all classes let's discuss in this video. Let's start with Scope of Eurocode 2. Eurocode 2 applies to the design of buildings and civil engineering works in plain, reinforced and pre-stressed concrete. It complies with principles and requirements for the safety and serviceability of structures. The basis of their design and verification that are given in EN 1990, that is basis of structural design. That is Eurocode 0. As we have discussed in the beginning, basis of structural design is Eurocode 0. Eurocode 2 is only concerned with the requirements for resistance, serviceability, durability and fire resistance of concrete structure. Other requirements, for example, concerning thermal and sound insulation are not considered. So they have clearly mentioned here that sound insulation and thermal insulation are not considered in this code. Eurocode 2 is intended to be used in conjunction with other codes, that is EN 1990 basis of structural design, 1991 that is actions on structures. Next one is EN's construction products relevant for concrete structures, ENV that is 13670 execution of concrete structures, EN 1997 geotechnical design, EN 1998 design of structures for earthquake resistance when concrete structures are built in seismic region. So these are all the codes which has to be used in conjunction with Eurocode 2. Eurocode 2 is subdivided into following parts as I have told you in the beginning. In this we have part 1, part 2, part 3. Eurocode 2 is subdivided into part 1, part 2, part 3 and then in that part 1 we have two sections, part 1.1 and part 1.2. 1.1 is for general rules and rules for buildings. 1.2 is structural fire design. Part 2 is for reinforced and pre-stressed concrete bridges. Part 3 is for liquid retaining and containing structures. Till now we have discussed about the scope of Eurocode 2. Now let's discuss about the scope of part 1.1 of Eurocode 2. Part 1.1 is for general rules and rules for buildings. What is the scope of that part 1.1? That let's see here. Part 1.1 of Eurocode 2 gives a general basis for the design of structures in plain, reinforced and pre-stressed concrete made with normal and lightweight aggregates together with specific rules for buildings. The following are the subjects that are dealt with in part 1.1. Section 1 is general, section 2 basis of design, section 3 materials, section 4 durability and cover to reinforcement, section 5 is structural analysis, section 6 is ultimate limit state, section 7 is serviceability limit state, section 8 is detailing of reinforcement and pre-stressing tendons, section 9 detailing of members and particular rules, section 10 additional rules for precast concrete and elements and structures, section 11 is for lightweight aggregate and concrete structures. Section 12 is for plain and lightly reinforced concrete structure. So we have 12 sections. Section 1 and 2 provide additional classes to those given in EN 1990 basis of structural design. And here they have mentioned the topics which are not covered by this part. This part 1.1 does not cover the use of plain reinforcement, resistance to fire, particular aspects of special types of buildings such as tall buildings, particular aspects of special types of civil engineering work such as viaduct, bridges, dams, pressure vessels, offshore platforms or liquid retaining structures. No fine concrete and aerated concrete components and those made with heavy aggregate or containing structural steel sections. So for this we have to refer Eurocode 4 for composite steel and concrete structures. Next in section 1.2 they have given the normative references. 1.2.1 general reference standards they have given and 1.2.2 is for other reference standards. Next let's look into the assumption. In addition to general assumption of EN 1990 the following assumptions apply. Structures are designed by appropriately qualified and experienced personnel. Adequate supervision and quality control is provided in factors in plants and on site. Construction is carried out by personnel having the appropriate skill and experience. The construction materials and products are used as specified in this Eurocode or in the relevant material or product specification. Structure will be adequately maintained. Structure will be used in accordance with the design brief. The requirements for execution and workmanship given in ENV 13670 are complied with. So this is the code which is specifically for execution of work. So that has to be followed. 1.4 is for distinction between principles and application definition rules. So the rules given in EN 1990 applies here. In class 1.5, definitions are given. General, the terms and definitions given in EN 1990 apply. Additional terms and definition used in this standard, that is precast structure. So what is precast structure? Precast structures are categorized by structural elements manufactured elsewhere than in the final position in the structure. In the structure, elements are connected to ensure the required structural integrity. So the precast structural elements will be manufactured in some of the factories, so that elements are connected to ensure the required structural integrity. Next one is plain or lightly reinforced concrete member. Structural concrete members having no reinforcement, plain concrete or less reinforcement than minimum of amount defined in section 9. So this is defined in section 9. Next one is unbonded and external tendons. Unbonded tendons for post-tension members having duct which are permanently ungrouted, and tendons external to the concrete cross section which may be encased in concrete after stressing or have a protective membrane. So these external tendons are used in post-tension members. The process of pre-stressing consists in applying forces to the concrete structure by stressing tendons relative to the concrete member. Pre-stress is used globally to name all the permanent effects of pre-stressing process, which comprise internal forces in the sections and deformations of the structure. Other means of pre-stressing are not considered in this standard. In 1.6 we have symbols. The notation used is based on ISO 3898 1987. So in 1.6 we have all the symbols till here. So after symbols we have section 2. So that's all. We are going to end up this video here. So friends, I hope you all like this video. Please do comment in the comment box. Your comments are always welcome. If you like the content, do share it with your friends and hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.